In the middle of the 13th century, Genoa and Venice were powerful seafaring republics which had a network of colonies across the Mediterranean. They had established themselves in the Holy Land during the Crusades, but in Acre they both sought control over the monastery of St. Sabas, which lay between their quarters in the city. So in 1256 the Genoese seized the monastery and invaded the Venetian quarter. But this forced the various factions within the Holy Land to pick sides. The Hospitallers and Philip of Montfort, the Lord of Tyre, joined Genoa, while Venice got the help from the Templars, French and Pisan merchants, and the rulers of cities like Antioch and Jaffa. The Venetians sent a fleet and reinforcements to blockade the Genoese in 1257. They then fought off an allied counterattack and forced the Genoese to relocate to Tyre. However, in 1261 the Genoese found a new ally, the Nicaean Empire. During the Fourth Crusade decades earlier, the Venetians divided the Byzantine Empire into a number of smaller states. So Michael VIII of Nicaea promised Genoa settlements in exchange for help reuniting the empire. But Constantinople was captured without Genoese help, as a Nicaean general just snuck into the city in 1261. Meanwhile, at sea, the Genoese were initially unwilling to engage the Venetians, and they were first defeated at Setepozzi in 1263. So sensing Genoese weakness, the Byzantines made peace with Venice, while the Genoese continued fighting. The Genoese were able to take Kaffa in Crimea, but failed to re-establish themselves in Acre in 1267. However, in 1270 Louis IX of France pressured them to make peace because he was preparing the Eighth Crusade. During the peace, the Genoese annexed Corsica after crushing the Pisans at Meloria in 1284, and they established an enclave in Cyprus. But the Holy Land had been left weakened, and the Mamluks captured Acre in 1291. With the loss of trade in the Holy Land, the Venetians attacked the Genoese in Cyprus, but the Genoese fought them back and deployed a fleet of over 165 ships into the Mediterranean. However, the Venetians were able to bypass this fleet and raise Galata and Kaffa, forcing the Byzantines to join the Genoese. Meanwhile, the Genoese fleet had split in two and began raiding Venetian colonies in the Adriatic. So the Venetians returned to the region in 1298, but were crushed at the Battle of Curzola. The Genoese famously captured Marco Polo during the battle and threatened Venice itself, but an uprising in Monaco forced them to make peace the next year. During this peace, the Venetians decided to expand their shipbuilding capabilities, while the Genoese made two powerful rivals: the Aragonese, who they failed to stop from invading Sardinia, and the Byzantine Empire, who sought to take the rich colony of Galata after a disastrous civil war in the 1340s. Meanwhile, to the east, the expanding Mongol Empire threatened all of Europe, but they brought a great deal of wealth to the Crimea. The Mongols did lay siege to Kaffa in 1347, and many believe that the escaping Genoese brought the bubonic plague to Europe. Nevertheless, in 1350, looking to dominate trade in the Black Sea, the Venetians attacked the Genoese again. But the Black Death had depleted their manpower, so they formed an alliance with Aragon and the Byzantine Empire. Over the next couple of years, the two sides fought a number of costly battles. First, the Genoese successfully defended Galata in 1352, but they failed to stop Venice and Aragon attacking Sardinia the following year. But a few months later, the Genoese were able to capture many Venetian ships off the coast of Greece. But this left both of them in a weakened state. The Hungarians began seizing Venetian colonies in the Adriatic, and the Genoese temporarily became a protectorate of Milan. So peace was made in 1355, but trading disputes were still not settled. So around 20 years later, the Venetians, looking to challenge Genoa in the east, bought Tenedos from John V, the Byzantine emperor. Hoping to stop the sale, the Genoese helped release Andronikos IV from prison, John V's son and enemy in a civil war. But the sale still went ahead, and the Venetians under Carlo Zeno fought off a Genoese assault on the island in 1378, starting the War of Chioggia. Venetian enemies like Hungary, Padua and Austria supported Genoa, while the Venetians got help from Milan and Cyprus. The Venetians won the first decisive battle off the coast of Rome in 1378, but they returned to the Adriatic where they failed to take coastal towns like Trogia from Hungary. However, the Genoese were able to reorganize and won a costly victory in the Adriatic the next year. With the Venetian navy defeated, the Genoese were free to move into the Venice lagoon and landed in Chioggia. But their delays gave Venice time to mobilize their population, and they sank barges filled with rocks into the lagoon, preventing Genoa from resupplying their troops. So without supplies for months, the Genoese were forced to surrender in 1380. No concrete agreements were made, so they still contended over trading rights. For instance, another battle was fought in 1403 off the coast of Greece, but they were both heavily indebted due to the wars. The Venetians were able to pay off their debts, rebuild, and become a regional power once again. But the Genoese lost their influence in the east to the expanding Ottomans, fought a number of wars against Aragon, and eventually fell largely under the control of the French.